What it is, YouTube, it's your man Soul here. Welcome back to the channel. You know what it is when you clicked it. Today we're doing the Affliction Warlock talent tree setup for Wrath of the Lich King Classic, patch 335. And I gotta say, Affliction is probably widely considered as the best caster for Wrath of the Lich King. They're just very strong. They don't have any weak points, and they have probably the best execute in the game. Before we begin, I want to say thank you to all of the new subscribers and everyone who's been commenting and looking at the videos. We're working our way down this long road to 1K, so all the support that I get is pretty appreciated. So without further ado, let's jump on in. Hey, what's going on, guys? Future Soul here. So I realized while editing this video I didn't do a glyph section, so here's an insert of the glyphs that you're going to be using for Affliction, and they're really easy because you're just going to be using these three mainstay glyphs. The first being the glyph of quick decay. Haste now increases or reduces the time between damage ticks and your corruption, so basically making it so you get more ticks out of your corruption. For Affliction, this is clearly good because one, you can get more nightfall procs. This is going to coincide with empowered corruption talent and improved corruption talent, so this is definitely one that you're definitely taking. Get Glyph of quick decay. Next we have Glyph of life tap. This is going to cause you to gain 20% of your spirit as spell power when you use life tap or dark pact. If you don't know, a lot of caster gear is going to have spirit on it, even for the pure DPS users like mages and warlocks, so just converting spirit into a more throughput stat, so definitely want to pick up Glyph of life tap. And last but not least, we have Glyph of haunt. This is going to increase the damage bonus caused by your haunt spell by an additional 3%, so basically making it so your damage over time effects now do 23% increased damage instead of 20. So again, easy cut and dry mainstay glyph. You're never going to swap out of these are all really good glyphs. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, I didn't want to forget a glyph section, so Future Soul out. Back to the video. So first things first, we have improved Curse of Agony. Increases the damage done by your Curse of Agony by 10%. Pretty cut and dry. Take it. Next we have Suppression. This is going to increase your hit chance with spells by 3% and reduce the mana cost of Affliction spells by 6%. Obviously, free hit is great for a caster. I think I said that in my Arcane video and in my demo video. Like, free hit is free hit. You definitely love it. And the mana cost reduction on your Affliction spells isn't bad either. So definitely take Suppression. Then we have Improved Corruption. Increases the damage done by your corruption spell by 10% and increases the critical strike chance of Seed of Corruption by 5%. So giving a nice boost to both of the corruption spells. So definitely want to max this pup out. Next we have Improved Life Tap. The amount of mana awarded by your life tap is increased by 20%. Again, very cut and dry. More mana means more DPS. Next we have Soul Siphon. Increases the amount drained by your drain life and drain soul spells by an additional 6% for each of your affliction spells on the target, up to a maximum of 18% of the effect. So this really says that when you have all of your dots rolling, your drain spells will do a lot more damage or give you a lot more health. So you definitely want to get Soul Siphon, and because drain soul is your execution, you definitely want to pick up Soul Siphon, or at least part of your execution. You want to pick up Soul Siphon. Next we have Amplify Curse. This is going to reduce the global cooldown of all of your curses by half a second. So this makes it so you can reapply things really quickly because the GCD is going to be shorter for curses. So this is a very important spell. Definitely want to pick this one up, or talent that is. Pick this one up. And I do want to mention some things real quick about the talents that I didn't take. So the first one, the Improved Drain Soul. So this returns 7% of your mana if the target is killed while your Drain Soul is active, or in addition, your Affliction spells generate 10% less threat. So the mana is whatever, you have life tap, right? The threat doesn't really, so your Affliction spells don't really generate threat like that. Like, your Affliction spells are your dots and haunt. Those aren't going to really generate spells or generate threat. Threat comes from like your shadow bolts, and those are destruction spells. So this doesn't really do anything for like the spells that would actually cause you to have high threat. This wouldn't really do anything for. So that's why you don't take Improve Drain Soul. Fell Concentration is the pushback protection. Now, just dependent on how much pushback there is, depends on if you take this talent or not. Like, I really don't think this is a necessary talent for Affliction in phase 1. Maybe in phase 2 and older, there's a lot of like bosses I could think of that do just passive damage pushback, like Memoron, Hodir, like they just do passive damage, so it's going to be some spell pushback. That's maybe where you would take Fell Concentration. But in phase 1, I don't know if you pick up this talent. If you do, if there's an Affliction Warlock aficionado out there in the comments and you see this video, let me know. Maybe I'm not remembering something, or I'm forgetting something completely for fel concentration. But I don't think this is that much of an impactful talent that's gonna make or break your damage as Affliction. So you can skip that. But moving on, we have Nightfall. This is a big one. So gives your corruption and drain life spells a 4% chance to cause you to enter shadow trance. The shadow trance state reduces the cast time of your next shadow bolt by 100%. So what is this basically saying? Your corruption and drain life, but you're not going to really use drain life. Your corruption spell has a 4% chance to cause your next shadow bolt to be free. This is really amazing, especially because this works multiplicatively when you multi-dot. So like if you have 2 targets up at all times and you have shadow bolts on both of them, now you have twice the chances to get a Nightfall proc. So definitely want to pick up Nightfall. Next we have Empowered Corruption. Increases the damage of your corruption spell by an amount equal to 36% of your spell power. So just increasing the spell power coefficient of corruption. I told you corruption was important. So I told you that when we talked about the glyphs. So definitely want to pick this one up. Another one I want to talk about that we didn't take was Grim Reach. You guys know how I feel about range increases. So increases the range of your affliction spells by 10%. This one you can take or you cannot take. I think because Affliction has a lot of talents that are like, I don't think it has the talent allocation. Like it doesn't have the talent freedom to just be taking things that don't directly increase damage. While Grim Reach can, Affliction is pretty mobile already, right? So outside of execute, so you don't really need this one because you're gonna be in position more often than not without the range increase. So you don't really need Grim Reach. If you do, take it, pick it up. It's not gonna hurt. But for this build right here, I skip Grim Reach. Next we have Shadow Embrace, another important one. Your Shadow Bolt and Haunt spells apply the Shadow Embrace effect, increasing all damage, all shadow periodic damage dealt to the target by 5% and reducing all periodic healing done to the target by 10%. Stacks 3 times. So Shadow Embrace is very important, but what you got to understand is that certain spells that are not listed as periodic damage are still affected by Shadow Embrace, like Drain Soul. That's not a dot like Corruption or Unstable Affliction, but it still is considered the periodic ticking damage, so it's increased by Shadow Embrace. Same thing I believe with Haunt. Haunt is not a dot per se, but it still is increased by Shadow Embrace. So you definitely want to pick up this talent and max this puppy out. Next we have Soul Siphon. When you deal damage with your corruption spell, there's corruption again, you are instantly healed for a percentage of the damage done. In addition, the damage done by your corruption, Seed of Corruption, Unstable Affliction damage over time effects is increased by 5%. So here we have a flat increase to corruption and a little sustainability for yourself. So definitely want to pick up Siphon Life. Next we have Shadow Mastery. Increases the damage dealt or life drained by your shadow spells and your Fel Hunter Shadow Bite by 15%. A flat 15% increased damage is never bad. Pick this one up. Next we have Improved Fel Hunter. So your Fel Hunter regains 8% of its maximum mana each time it hits with its Shadow Bite ability, and the cooldown on that ability is reduced by 4 seconds. In addition, it increases the effect of your Fel Hunter's Fel Intelligence, which is the intellect buff that Fel Hunter gives when it's active, by 10%. So Fel Hunter, Improved Fel Hunter I should say, Improved Fel Hunter definitely is a good talent. Previously, before we Blizzard announced the increases to health and damage and acts, this talent, like for like a speed run, probably could have been skipped in favor of other things, because you probably wouldn't even summon the Fel Hunter if it's like a super, like if your guild is a speedrunning guild, you're just gonna pop the Infernal and keep it pushing. But because we got the health increase and the damage increase, and we still don't know by how much, Improved Fel Hunter is a safer pick in my opinion. So I definitely want to take Improved Fel Hunter. Next we have Eradication. When you deal damage with corruption, you have a 6% chance to increase your spell casting speed by 20%. So Eradication is another very important talent pickup. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory. That 20% spell casting speed goes a lot further than what some people think, especially in your execute phase when you're using Drain Life or Drain Soul. Jesus, don't mix up the drains. But yes, definitely want to take Eradication as a very good talent. Again, when you're able to multi-corruption things, Eradication is going to have a chance to proc faster or proc more often, just like Nightfall. So Corruption is a very important talent. Your spell. I'm telling you guys, it's very important. Next we have Contagion. Increases the damage of your Curse of Agony, Corruption, Seed of Corruption by 5%, and reduces the chance your helpful affliction spells and damage over time effects will be dispelled by 30%. So here we have another 5% boost to some of your spells, including Corruption. No surprise, surprise. So definitely want to pick up Contagion. The Dispel Protection, again, in PvE, not that impactful, but definitely want to pick it up. It's there, it's nice, I guess. So, but yeah, you definitely want to pick up Contagion. Next, we have Malediction, or Malediction, however you want to pronounce it. Increases the spell damage by 3%, and increases the periodic critical strike chance of your Corruption and Unstable Corruption spells by 9%. So this allowing your two powerful dots to have an increased crit chance and a flat increase to your spell damage. Never hurts. Definitely want to pick up. Next we have Unstable Affliction, one of the big talents, although not as important as Corruption, but still a good talent. Shadow Energy slowly destroys the target. Ooh, such an ominous tooltip. Causing damage over 15 seconds. In addition, if Unstable Affliction is dispelled, it will cause a large burst of shadow damage to the dispeller and silence them for 5 seconds. You can only have Unstable Affliction or Immolate per Warlock on any one target at a time. You're probably not going to put Immolate up, so don't even worry about that part. But Unstable Affliction is just one of your dots. It's a decent hitting dot. It's going to affect your Soul Siphon talent, so it's another dot that you can add to that power. And again, just a good talent to have, so definitely want to pick up Unstable Affliction. Next we have Pandemic. Grants periodic damage of your Corruption and Unstable Affliction spells the ability to crit for 100% of increased damage, and increases the critical strike damage bonus of your Haunt spell by 100%. So Pandemic is a super important talent. One, it gives your Corruption and Unstable Affliction the ability to critically hit for 100% increased damage, so it's really good on that, and allowing dots to crit is really good. And your Haunt now does 100% increased critical damage, so definitely pick up Pandemic. This goes without saying. You cannot skip Pandemic. Next we have Death's Embrace. This is going to increase the amount drained by your drained life by 30%, and while your health is at 20% or lower, that is. And increases the damage done by your shadow spells by 12% when your target is at or below 35%. So this is like your soft / fake execute, right? Because you're going to be doing increased damage while the target's at or below 35%, but it's not your true blue execute phase. This is like the fake one. Like I said, your true blue one comes at 25%, but this is just like a slow build up to it. So definitely want to pick up Death's Embrace, because increased damage is increased damage. Next we have Everlasting Affliction. Your Corruption and Unstable Affliction spells gain an additional 5% of your bonus spell damage. Again, another increase to spell power coefficients for Corruption. And your Drain Life, Drain Soul, Shadow Bolt, Haunt have a 100% chance to reset the duration of your Corruption on the target. So basically making it so you have a much easier time keeping up Corruption. It's very important to keep up Corruption. I don't think I have to say that to you guys, but just in case, it's very important. This makes it easier. And then last but not least, we have the capstone talent, Haunt. You send a ghostly soul at the target, dealing some shadow damage and increasing all damage done by your shadow damage over time effects, including Drain Soul, on the target by 20% for 12 seconds. When the Haunt spell ends or is dispelled, the soul will return to you, healing you for 100% of the damage it did to the target. So Haunt is a damage modifier for your dots, and it's a big one. It's a 20% damage modifier, not just for your dots, like I said, also for Drain Soul. So it's a very good talent. Obviously, we don't skip this one. I'm not going to say, we take all the capstone talents, RIP to Arcane Barrage, but this is one that you're definitely not skipping. So definitely want to pick up Haunt. And then we're gonna, skip over to the destruction tree. So first things first, we have improved Shadow Bolt. Again, if you've seen my demo video, I'm not gonna harp too much on it. This increases your Shadow Bolt's damage by 10%, and your Shadow Bolt has a 100% chance to put up the spell critical strike debuff on the target. So it'll increase its critical strike chance by 5% when dealing damage with spells. So go figure. It's a nice talent. Last 30 seconds, again, increasing your Shadow Bolt effectiveness. Next we have Bane. This is going to reduce the cast time of your Shadow Bolt, Chaos Bolt, and Immolate by 1/2 second, and Soulfire by 2 seconds. You're never going to use Soulfire, but you're really going to use Shadow Bolt, so definitely reducing the cast time by 1/2 second is really good. And we have Ruin. Ruin is a really good talent. It's going to increase the critical strike damage bonus of your destruction spells and your Imp's Firebolt by 100%. Please remember that Shadow Bolt is a destruction spell. It is not an affliction spell. It is a destruction spell. So increasing the critical strike damage bonus will go a long way. And for the last talent point, we have Intensity. This is going to give you some spell pushback protection when casting or channeling destruction spells. So again, this is going to be pretty impactful if the fight is giving you a lot of pushback. If not, hey, it's still there. And that's really it for the Affliction tree. So you might not use this build all the time. Like you could use this setup from Nax to Ruby Sanctum and no one would say anything, but Affliction does have some pretty interchangeable talents as long as you're still able to take the important ones. Like I had mentioned before, Fel Concentration might not be so impactful in Nax, but when we get to Old War, I think it's definitely going to be used. Maybe in TOC, maybe in ICC, but Old War, I think this is definitely getting some usage, just because I think Old War in my head, I can definitely think of bosses off the top of my head that do spell pushback, and you will want to use some more pushback protection. Same thing with Grim Reach. Don't think it's too impactful in Nax, but could see some usage as we get to like bigger arenas or different mechanics that cause you to move frequently and be out of position. So Affliction is really good. Like I said, to me, has the best execute in the game, especially for like fights like Yogg. I know if you've like looked up any research on like why Affliction's so good, the Yogg Saron thing comes up a lot because you can channel Drain Soul facing away from the boss, so you won't get that insanity drain that Yogg does. So definitely a really good execute, and overall Affliction is just a super solid spec, if not the best, if not one of the best, casters. So don't sleep on Affliction. But that's really it for the video, guys. I had a lot of fun making it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Hope I was able to help. If you did like the video, please hit that like, and if you want to see more content, please hit subscribe. I'm definitely looking to grow the community and make it down this long road to 1K. But as always, you guys are great. I'm Soul, and I'm out. Peace.